The Holy Book, Sefer Kaf Hayashar, Episode 29. You should know, when the wicked Bilam saw that he could not harm Israel through his sorcery, as it is written, "How can I curse whom God has not cursed?" Bamidbar 23.8. He advised Balak to order the Moabite daughters into the immorality in order to cause the Israelite men to stumble. Then when the Israelites did indeed stumble, and 24,000 Israelites men fell, Bilam came to collect his reward from Balak. Later on, when Israel waged war against Midian, Pinchas saw Bilam flying through the air, and he shouted to his soldiers, see the Zohar 3.194a, and asked, "Is there anyone who knows how to fly after that wicked one?" For he saw that Bilam was flying like a bird. One man by the name of Tzalia, from the tribe of Dan, responded instantly. He knew how to subjugate the forces of impurity and to fly after him. But when that wicked one saw him coming, he cut his way through 5 levels of the atmosphere and continued flying, hidden from the eye. At that moment, Tzalia found himself in peril and suffered great anguish because he did not know what to do. But right away, Pinchas raised his voice and spoke to the shadow, by means of which Bilam had cloaked himself in the 5 levels of the atmosphere, and commanded that it become transparent once more, and cease to conceal that evildoer. So the atmosphere became transparent once more, and Tzalia flew towards him. He succeeded in overpowering the wicked Bilam and constrained him, forcing him to come before Pinchas. How did he constrain him? Tzalia knew how to constrain the male as well as the female aspect of the chief impure forces of sorcery, both of which are called Shefi. Bilam, on the other hand, knew only how to overpower the male aspect. Therefore, regarding Bilam, it is written, "And he went through the peril of Shefi," Bamidbar 23.3. Whereas regarding the tribe of Dan, it is written, "And Dan was a snake along the road." Shefitan, along the path. Bereshis 49.17. The path referred to is the path through the atmosphere in which the wicked one cloaked himself. Similarly, in the future, a vengeance against Hashem's enemies will also be executed by Sariah, one of the tribe of Dan. Thus, when Dan arises, one should be on the lookout for Israel's redemption, as it is written, "I have awaited your salvation, Hashem." Bereshis 49.18. When Bilam came before Pinchas, the latter said to him, "Wicked one, how many evil tribulations have you brought upon the holy people?" Then Pinchas addressed Tzalia, "Go ahead and execute him, but not with the holy divine name, lest he request be fulfilled in which he asked. Let my soul die the death of the upright." Bamidbar 23.10. Several types of gruesome deaths were executed upon him on the spot. But he did not die until Tzalia took a sword upon which was a snake was engraved on both sides. Pinchas said to Bilam, "Through the very defilement with which you were engaged shall you die." Whereupon he killed him, and Bilam was judged with that defilement in the other world. Meanwhile, in this world, all of his bones disintegrated and his flesh and body turned into snakes, evil snakes. Even the worms that consumed his flesh were transformed into snakes, and from his bones were also fashioned great snakes. This is the fate of all sorcerers. Their bodies are turned into snakes and scorpions, while their souls become male and female demons. May the spirits and souls of all the sorcerers be filled with sorrow. All those men and women who turn to sorcery deserve to be cursed before the Holy One, blessed is He, and to have their influence diminished in whatever way possible. And if certain women are known to harm Jewish children through their sorcery, it is fitting that they be pointed out by name and that a severe ban be proclaimed against them, accompanied with the shofar blowing and the extinguishing of candles and in the presence of 7 Torah scrolls. They should be ostracized so that they have no contact with the holy community of Israel. You should know further that the wicked Bilam gathered all types of herbs for use in his sorcery, and then put them in a pot, which he buried deep in the earth, 1,500 cubits underground. Years later, when David HaMelech was excavating holes on the site of the temple to bring up groundwater for use in the libations of the altar, holes that were also 1,500 cubits deep, he came across the pot that Bilam had buried. He then removed it and diluted it with water that was fit for the libations. Concerning this, it was written, Moab is my wash basin, Tehillim 108.10, for he washed it and removed the power of sorcery that was in Moab's pot. Therefore, whenever there is suspicion of harm due to sorcery, it is a good strategy to neutralize it by reciting the 15 songs of ascent, Tehillim 120 to 135, which David composed at the time that he excavated those holes to bring up the groundwater, Sukkah 53a. Afterwards, let them pray to Hashem to remove from Israel all the harm caused by sorcery. It is also advisable for every Jewish man and woman to stay as far away from sorcery as possible. Let them avoid all acts of sorcery, augury, and divination, and let them avoid hearing the recitation of any incantation. For the Holy One, blessed is He, takes pride in His people, that there is no augury among Yaakov and no divination among Yisrael. Bamidbar 23.23. Whoever stays far from sorcery will be allowed to enter a partition in the world to come, within which even the ministering angels cannot stand. Nedarim 32a.